Hello, and this is a drink review of a drink called GAAM Isotonic Blue Blast. And I'll just have a little bit of this because this is not sugar free. And, oh man. Okay, I'll just screw it open. Oh wait, that is what you're supposed to do. No, it's not. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it has one of these things that you remove like that. Oh, it doesn't remove completely. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Almost spilled right there. Okay, I'll have that much. Let's say that's a deciliter. Which should be around 4 grams of sugar. So, let's see how it tastes. I assume it's gonna taste like a blue Powerade. Yeah, but man, it does taste like that. It has a very, very sweet aftertaste. It's not that sweet in the beginning and doesn't have that much taste. But the aftertaste is very sweet. And that's kind of like when you get that mountain berry flavor or whatever they call this. Yeah, it's fine. I wouldn't get it again. But I'll probably finish this over a couple of days probably. And I'll be do comments, but what I've basically been doing is that I've been building, well, I guess mostly just repairing some of these things, you know, gluing holes and stuff, because, you know what, I might paint a tank or two, we'll see, because now I have, you know, spray paint with a sprayer, and I tried it out. I have, you know, the silver and the type of gray that I actually use for my guardsmen. The gray that these guys have, and also my sentinels. I have that paint as a spray paint, and it's supposed to be 100% matched. Even if it isn't 100%, I'm fine. Like, I don't mind if it looks similar enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I have this plate mail that I think worked pretty well. I'll see how it feels painting over it. Probably tomorrow, because I did those earlier today before I rested. And also actually recorded the worst section of the Jack and Daxter. I think episode 9. I haven't uploaded it yet. Was it episode 9? Let me see. Yes, episode 9. Then after that, like, okay, I need to go and take a rest after playing that. That was the mountain, you know, the snowy area of the game. Man, so far I'll say that area is the only area where I felt like it was actively horrific. There was only one thing in that area I enjoyed, and that was, you know, the part with where you fly on the bird. You know, that platforming part with the bird was the only part I enjoyed. I hated everything else. So I'm glad I'm out of there. And I think they knew that it was horrific when they made it. Because getting the power cells was actually relatively simple of what you had to do to get these cells. It doesn't mean it was easy, but it was like a simple thing. And I think they knew how horrific that area was. Yeah, so hopefully no more of those areas right now. And I'm gonna reward myself the next time I play. Because we're gonna talk to Kiera, look at her panties. And then she'll upgrade the zoomer. So yeah, I'm gonna read comments, so let's do that. While I have the energy. Comment by Duplain. You know what, Duplin? The comments that you have left on the things that aren't public yet, are just for members. I'll probably just... I mean, I've responded to, like, for example, telling me that Sky Attack was 120 power instead of 85. Because I know I asked that. And I like that change. I kind of wish they also would have done that Aerial Ace would have had like 70 power, I'd say, instead of 60. Because I think there's like a miss right there between Wing Attack that's 60, Air Cutter that's like 65, with 90 accuracy, 95 accuracy, but a high crit rate. I think there's need that Aerial Ace needs kind of like be 70 right there. Because you have Fly at 90, but a 2-turn move. I think if they would have done Aerial Ace at 70, I think that would have been very good for the flying type moves, right? So maybe in a future update, maybe they'll do that. I think when it comes to flying types moves in Emerald Legacy, they just need to change Aerial Ace to 70. Then I think it's pretty good. And then also what you mentioned about how Emerald Legacy was a bit easy. I would say yes. But I think it kind of like happens when you get later on in the games and you have a really good team, or a team that start to get really good, you know, and you know how to use them. I mean, Moby completely carried, right? I was surprised at how well Moby did. Too bad the sprite is shit for Waylord, but... And yeah, the thing about having a BST under 460 could be interesting to do further on, but I think I've done something like that for my Scarlet and Violet Let's Play, because I only use Rodent Pokemon, and I think they are all, you know, very low. So I kind of like done that unintentionally. I didn't mean to do that, but I think I've done that unintentionally with that one. But the next one that I have planned, like that I'm gonna do something themed like this, is gonna be Pokemon Renegade Platinum, or Platinum Renegade, don't remember exactly what it's called. And in that one we're gonna use only second stage Pokemon, right? So, yeah. It's not gonna be immediately after, like I'll probably do that at the second part of this year. I don't know, like I'm gonna take a little pause from, you know, a Pokemon Let's Play. And do other things. Obviously, in the process of doing the Jack and Daxter, which is probably soon done, actually. I feel like the Jack and Daxter Let's Play is gonna be finished before it even becomes public. We'll see. Then, after that, I mean, I'm just doing a bunch of first looks to kind of like find the next game to play, right? So, we'll see. Never got why Delcatty has a yellow spot on its head in Gen 3. It doesn't look good, so I get that's why they removed it. I like that comment, because kind of like, I'll be honest, I never really noticed that the Delcatty sprite kind of like changed in that way, that they removed the yellow dot on its head. Yeah. I mean, I do think it is a good choice to remove it. Like, I think it looks pretty bad. But I never noticed until you mentioned that. Like, they did remove it. So I think that is actually something that happened quite a lot. Now when I think about it, you know, with Gen 3 sprites going into Gen 4, there was a lot of changes going on. Like, for example, with Zangoose having, you know, purple on its arms or on its claws, to what I think was supposed to show a little bit of, you know, like poison-ish, you know, with Seviper. And maybe they removed that because of what you said, that maybe it could have been like it confused people, because you would think that, it's a poison type, he has poison claws. But it was just a normal type that just has toxic boost, Which, toxic boost? Toxic boost is just a worse guts, because toxic boost increases your attack by 50% if you're poisoned. But guts increases your attack by 50% if you're poisoned, burned, and paralyzed. So, and I think technically sleep as well. So if you have guts and you use sleep talk and get a physical move, I think it boosts you. But I could be wrong when it comes to sleep. So I think what they should do with toxic boost, you make it so the toxic boost increases your attack and speed by 30% when you're poisoned. I think that could be a fun thing that they did, that I think would help make, Zangoose a bit more unique, because it has a unique ability, but the ability is completely worthless compared to the generic version of that ability, because the generic version is just better in every single way. Let's see. By Lazul, up energy root lowers 10 friendship. Level up gives 5, haircut gives 10. Consuming friendship berries gives 10 plus 10. And I didn't know the stat raising vitamins gives plus 5, but that makes sense, because you're feeding your Pokemon. And the fact that, a fucking Phoebus and I love this completely destroyed me in part 8. Oh man. The power of a little bit of hacks, huh? And Balazul, I watched everything, even a speed up part. Could have been faster, lol. On part 7, the Mystic Duo, Tate and Liza. That was the fast. No, I don't remember if I did it. I think that was just the fastest I could have done on Sony Vegas. I mean, I guess what you could technically do is that you fast forward that, you edit it, and then you fast forward it again, that part. So I just fast forward that part, and then I just edit that singular part, and then I add it back into the Sony Vegas, and then I fast forward it again. I guess you could do that to make it faster, but no, because I'm already playing at 3.3 times speed plus whatever. So it could have been faster, but fast enough. And then let's see. What is your least favorite status effect? Asking for science. Probably freeze is my least favorite. It's the one that I think doesn't really fit in. I like all the others. But freeze is kind of like pretty boring. Like you can't do anything. And it could, in theory, last forever. But it also could thaw out immediately. I think if they would replace freeze with frostbite, like they did in Legends Arceus, I think that would be good. And to make it, because I understand that they don't really want to make it just a special nerfing burn. How burn works is that when you're burned, you take 1/8 or 1/16, I don't remember, amount of damage every turn, and your attack gets reduced by 50%. And I would not want frostbite, let's say, or like the new freeze, to be the exact same. You take a amount of damage each turn, and your special attack gets lowered. I don't want that. I think it would be better if they made it so that you lose 50% of your special attack, and maybe you lose 50% of your speed. So it has that in common with paralysis, but there is like let's say a 30% or 20% chance every turn that frostbite just disappears. So it's kind of like one that can disappear. It won't make it so that you can't attack anymore, but it is crippling, right? because it lowers your speed by 50% and your special attack. So, and then having it so that maybe the first turn is 100%, you're gonna have it. You won't thaw out of it. But then after that, there's like a 20 or 30% chance. You can also make it like 20% on second turn, like 100% on first turn, 20% on second turn. Now, what am I talking about? 0% to thaw out on the first turn, 20% on the second, 40 on the third, and then maybe on the fourth it's 100%. You know, I think something like that to make freeze like a little bit more unique is something I would like. And let's see. A comment by Eliu Rosehill. Here's your first look of this gameplay from your lessons about these games. 1. Do Dragon Ball Z Infinite World on the PlayStation 2 emulator. 2. Do Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects on the Dolphin emulator in GameCube from your tutorial. Got it? And that was on my first look. Them's fighting herds. Did I get it? No, I'm not gonna do that. Unless I get those games for free on something, you know. And I might do a first look, but I'm not gonna go and just play a tutorial for a fighting game. God, no. I'm already not into fighting games. I'm not gonna go and look up to like go out of my way to play a fighting game. That's not something I'm gonna do. Especially not just to play a tutorial. Jesus Christ. So that's probably not something I will do. But I mean, those are not all of the comments, but I think that's a good amount of comments. And there's a lot of comments like mixed into certain things. But yeah, thank you for watching and goodbye.